the 1937 Plymouth, ladies and gentlemen, and it is sailing along to new records for appearance, economy, safety, and performance. Sailing along the highways of the Plymouth history. And what a history of value giving, of sensational success, year after year, Plymouth has had. Plymouth is the only car that built 1 million units in the first 6 years of its existence. Then, in a little more than 2 years, the second million mark was achieved. Look at the record of Plymouth triumph during the Depression and since. There is only one way to attain skyrocketing popularity, and that's by building extraordinary value. Proof of that value is seen in the scarcity of Plymouths in the used car markets. Why, used car specialists will actually pay more for Plymouths than for the other low-priced cars. Plymouth popularity stands securely on its history of building longer life, greater safety, and more style and luxury into its cars year after year. And this year's automobile is a creation of such beauty that Plymouth stands out in any company. Look at it from any angle, and it's impressive. See how the lines of the massive fenders are joined with the swelling curves of the smoothly rounded radiator shell. Body lines go along the sleek hood with modernistic louvers over the solid one-steel top, and then down the handsome built-in trunk. The rear end is harmoniously balanced with those twin tail lights and a centered license bracket with a light below it. Plenty of room there, and it's all usable room, too, for the gasoline filler pipe has been removed from the trunk. It's bigger than the ordinary low-priced car in every way. Inches wider from door to door this year, which means a wider windshield for safety. 3 persons sit comfortably in the front seat with ample shoulder room. The rear seat is more than 4 feet wide. No crowding in this commodious car. Of course, the new Plymouth has chair height seats that permit a normal sitting position. More leg room than ever before because the expensive new high-powered rear axle makes possible a low floor without any hump to accommodate the propeller shaft. 2 big rear windows this year and a convenient reading lamp between them, one of many thoughtful details of design. It's a great big package of value, this 1937 Plymouth. And beneath the beauty, steel for safety. Plymouth has had a steel body for 7 years. Steel pillars, steel panels, and steel floor, sturdily braced and reinforced throughout with still more steel. Then to crown this masterpiece of body construction, there is a solid steel top, formed from one piece of steel and then electrically welded to sides to form one solid, rigid unit. The bodybuilders were thinking of your comfort, too, so they provided a wide, deep drip molding that carries off the rain. For your protection, the new Plymouth introduces safety styling. Door handles have been redesigned, curving inward, so they won't catch your clothing. The instrument panel combines luxury with safety styling. All knobs and controls of the new Plymouth are recessed, including the ignition key. Nothing protrudes. See how cleverly the windshield control has been folded away. Now, this seat back is padded to soften the bump in case of a quick stop. Note, too, that safety styling makes this armrest of soft sponge rubber. Plymouth gives you complete ventilation. Not only does the windshield open, but also there is a screened ventilator in the cowl. Ventilating wings are operated with a simple lever, and when the rear half of Plymouth's ventilating window is lowered, there is no metal bar to obstruct the view or to get away when giving hand signals. Rear quarter windows are hinged, so they swing outward on friction pivots. Here again, the protruding crank has been eliminated. Your Plymouth windshield will not be obscured by snow or clouded by steam. Through vents in the bottom of the windshield frame, warm air from a connection with the heater can be directed over the glass. For added comfort in cold weather, Plymouth uses complete insulation to seal the body against the winter wind, as well as to keep dust, gas fumes, and noise. The story of Plymouth engineering to conquer sound is a thrilling account of scientific achievement that would require a motion picture all itself to tell. First, a body of steel in all one piece, so there can be no body squeaks nor rattles. Plymouth was a pioneer in the use of all steel bodies in the low-price field. This new car has actually been silenced like a radio studio. The result is the quietest ride of any low-priced car. And Plymouth was the first of the low-priced cars to have hydraulic brakes. Every Plymouth ever built has had them, which means every Plymouth comes to a quick, smooth stop. You go sailing along in a Plymouth completely at ease and confident of the security of hydraulic brakes. It's a safe stop without skid or side sway because Plymouth's double-acting hydraulic brakes assure an equal pressure on all 4 wheels. Self-energizing hydraulic brakes used by other manufacturers do not provide that soft, smooth stop. For through their very principle of wrapping action, they have uncontrolled pressure that results in jerky stopping. The development and use of the equal pressure principle for years by Plymouth engineers has perfected the brake so the brake shoes take hold evenly on all surfaces of the drum. Plymouth leads the field in steel body and hydraulic brakes, and the superiority of its engine is just as outstanding. Super high compression means economy, means Plymouth owners enthusiastically report as high as 24 miles to the gallon of gasoline. Floating power engine mountings with Plymouth calibrated ignition make possible this high compression economy with smoothness. Patented floating power suspends the engine in perfect balance, and by permitting it to rock on its natural axis, it dissipates vibration and provides the smoothest engine in the industry. The rigid Plymouth crankshaft rests on 4 main bearings instead of 3 usually found in low-priced cars. 4 bearings mean longer life and economical servicing. The Plymouth camshaft has a special quiet cam design and rests on 4 large bearings, all pressure lubricated. And it's chain driven, which adds to manufacturing cost and at the same time adds to owner satisfaction. Not only camshaft bearings, but also connecting rod bearings and main bearings in the mighty Plymouth engine receive oil under 35 pound pressure. That makes for economical operation and long life. And even today, not all low-priced cars have full pressure lubrication. All air that goes into the engine passes through a filter that removes dust and other particles that might damage cylinder walls and bearings. Not all low-priced cars have an oil filter, but Plymouth has one to keep engine oil clean and make it last longer. Rings of a special hard heat-resisting metal are inserted in the cylinder block to form seats for the exhaust valves and thus postponing the necessity for valve grinding many thousands of miles. Here's more economy. Plymouth pistons are of aluminum alloy for finer acceleration and lighter bearing loads. 4 rings on each piston make possible perfect compression and oil conservation. Plymouth cools the cylinder bores for their whole length, lowering the temperature of the crankcase oil as much as 50 degrees. Full-length water jackets mean important savings in oil. But don't imagine that Plymouth's amazing economy has been obtained at any sacrifice in performance, and certainly none in luxury. In the low-price field, there simply isn't another ride like Plymouth's. No other low-priced car has achieved balanced weight and balanced springing that contributes so much to the even, smooth ride with front-end bounce eliminated. This 1937 Plymouth has thin leaf springs at the front just as flexible as those at the rear. Made of a mola steel, a special alloy, they contribute to the new ride sensation, Plymouth's famous floating ride. To realize what these big aero-hydraulic shock absorbers give you in comfort, you must ride in the car. You must go sailing along in the Plymouth to get the feel of it. Plymouth places one of these low-pressure, direct-acting shock absorbers on each wheel, both front and rear. There are 4 of these husky fellows at work, saving the springs, smoothing out the road, smothering the shocks of a rough road so it seems a boulevard. Now look at it in slow motion. See those wheels dance? But the car and the people in it are cushioned against road shock. The Plymouth irons out a detour. Notice that the car takes the bumps, but the passengers never know anything about it. Here's another exciting contribution to your comfort. On the rigid X double drop frame are Plymouth's sensational rubber-poised body mountings. Floating power engine mountings keep engine vibration from reaching the body. Now, these spool-shaped rubber body mountings float the body free of the frame. Thus, the body is completely insulated against road shocks and noises. Now, both the engine and the body are floated on live rubber. No more is there any possible metal-to-metal contact between frame and body. Here's more comfort, more luxury, more reasons why it's fun to go sailing along in a Plymouth. A steering shock eliminator absorbs road shock that might otherwise be felt in the steering gear. Silent U-shackles are placed on both front and rear springs for silent shackle action, thus greatly improving the steering action. Plymouth always rides on an even keel because this sway eliminator is connected directly to the front axle, where a change in the car's forward motion first affects its stability. Travel the roughest road and you'll find that Plymouth's steering gear is virtually unaffected by any up and down travel of the axle. Wheel fight is eliminated, for the wheels keep straight ahead whether you drive in gravel, heavy dust, or snow. Altogether, Plymouth's shockless steering means new steering ease, where the going is rough and particularly in city parking. The 1937 Plymouth is the most beautiful car. The 1937 Plymouth is the biggest car. The 1937 Plymouth is the most luxurious car in all Plymouth history. The 1937 Plymouth with its new all-steel body and with its double-acting hydraulic brakes is the safest car in all Plymouth history. The 1937 Plymouth is America's most economical, full-powered car. The 1937 Plymouth has the famous floating ride, and no other low-priced car has it. The 1937 Plymouth is the biggest value in all Plymouth history. Get behind the wheel of that automobile. Go sailing along in the new Plymouth. Discover for yourself why the motorists of America agree that Plymouth builds great cars.